This story is about two children who get stranded on an island in the Pacific Ocean and end up living there for many years. As they grow older, their bodies begin to change, and it seems like they are starting to feel attracted to each other. Now, what are they going to do next? And how did they end up trapped on this island? To know that, you'll have to watch the video. So let's begin the story of the movie. At the very beginning, we see a family. In this family, there are two children. The boy's name is Richard, and the girl's name is Malin. They are cousins. Richard's father is also with them. Along with them, there is a cook whose name is also Richard, and he cooks for everyone. Suddenly, a fire breaks out on the ship, and smoke spreads everywhere, making it impossible to see anything. To save the children, they get into a small boat and escape from there. They spend the whole night in the boat. The next morning, they reach an island. Seeing the beautiful island, they feel very happy and start exploring it. They soon realize that the island has everything they need to survive: drinking water and plenty of food. This makes them very happy because survival here would be easy. There, they also find many bottles of alcohol, which makes the cook extremely happy. But a little farther away, he discovers a human skull and hangs it on a tree. At that moment, he realizes that someone had been here before. That night, while drinking, the cook suddenly hears a noise from the other side. When he goes there, he sees meat placed on a rock with blood scattered all around. It was clear that some kind of ritual was taking place there. Frightened, he returns and warns the children never to go to that side of the island. Still, in his mind, he keeps wondering what is really happening there. The three of them continue enjoying themselves, but the cook drinks too much and soon passes out. The next morning, his empty alcohol cans are seen floating in the water. While trying to collect them, he steps into the water, but because he is drunk, he drowns. When the children wake up in the morning, they don't find the cook anywhere. After searching, they realize that he has died. This terrifies them because the only adult who was looking after them is gone. Now they are completely alone. After the cook's death, the children build a shelter for themselves. They already knew how to survive on an island because they had been taught these skills. For many years, they lived there, and gradually they grow up. As time passes, their bodies begin to change. They start noticing each other, and deep inside, feelings begin to grow. But they had no knowledge about this. No education, no one to explain, and no one to guide them. One day, Malin was bathing in the water when suddenly blood started coming from her body. Frightened, she called out to Richard. Later, she realized it was her body's natural process, her first menstruation. Richard rushed over when he heard her scream and asked what had happened. Malin said it was nothing and told him to leave. But when Richard noticed the blood in the water, he thought Malin was injured. He tried to find out what was wrong, even wanted to see for himself, but Malin refused to say anything. This made Richard angry. He felt Malin was hiding something from him, so he walked away. As time passed, both of them began to feel a strange attraction toward each other. One day, Malin heard the sound of drums. She followed the sound and discovered a giant statue from which blood was flowing. Terrified, she hurried back and told Richard everything. Hearing this, Richard became furious because the cook had once made them swear never to go to that side of the island. Malin had broken that oath, which left Richard both upset and angry. That night, Malin dreamed that Richard was drowning in the water. She woke up terrified. Meanwhile, Richard realized that he didn't want to be separated from Malin. Feelings had started to grow inside him, and he tried to get closer to her. But Malin didn't like it, so she walked away. The next morning, Richard decided to leave. Malin tried to stop him, even holding his hand tightly. But Richard, still angry, ignored her and left. Later, Malin saw Richard doing something behind a rock, though she couldn't understand what. When Richard realized she had been watching, he grew even angrier. Soon after, Richard spotted a ship from the edge of a cliff. He ran up the hill to light a signal fire, but failed. Malin could have helped, but she didn't, because by then, she had started to enjoy living on the island. This made Richard furious. In anger, he built a raft, put it into the water, and tried to leave the island. But only a short distance out, the raft sank. He fell into the water, and Malin couldn't help laughing when she saw it. Richard returned, but Malin started teasing him. She said she knew what he had been doing behind the rock. Richard, embarrassed and angry, asked, "Were you secretly watching me?" Malin replied, "When I'm naked, you also watch me silently. I know that." Hearing this, Richard grew even angrier. He stormed into their hut, grabbed Malin's belongings, and threw them outside. He shouted, "I built this hut, and you're not with me. From now on, you'll stay outside." As the rain pours down, Malin hides inside a small cave. Soon we see her near a statue, digging a hole and beginning to worship it as a god. After placing flowers on it, she starts heading back, but suddenly her foot is stung by a poisonous fish, leaving her badly injured. Richard, who hadn't seen her for days, becomes worried and goes out searching. He finds Malin lying on the ground and panics. When he asks what happened, Malin tells him a poisonous fish bit her foot. She pleads with him to take her to her god. Richard carries her to the statue and begins praying for her. After a while, Malin starts to feel better. He then brings her back to their hut, and once again, they feel a deep closeness. This time, they give in to their emotions and share intimacy for the first time, truly understanding the feelings they had been carrying inside for so long. From then on, they begin to enjoy this bond every day while continuing to live their life on the island. One day, Richard notices Malin isn't spending as much time with him. Concerned, he asks, "Don't you love me anymore?" Malin replies, "It's not that." She explains that she hasn't been feeling well and that something is moving inside her belly. She places Richard's hand on her stomach and he feels it too. Malin was pregnant, though at first neither of them fully understood. Later, Richard wanders to the other side of the island where he witnesses tribal people sacrificing a man. Terrified, he runs back to Malin, only to find her screaming in labor. Richard helps her, and soon she gives birth to a baby. Overjoyed, they bring the child into their hut. When the baby cries, Richard tries feeding him food and water, not realizing that he needs his mother's milk. Eventually, Malin nurses him, and the baby is soothed. It was a boy, and they named him Patty, on the memory of their pet. The couple becomes deeply happy with their child, loving him with all their heart. Years pass, and their son grows older. One day, while playing near a tree, the boy picks up a poisonous berry and puts it into their boat. Later, while the family is on the boat, it accidentally drifts into the sea. A shark approaches, and Richard tries to protect the raft. Malin throws a spear at the shark, driving it away, but the raft keeps drifting farther into the open ocean. Days go by without food. Their son accidentally eats the poisonous berries. In fear and despair, they all decide to eat the berries together, accepting death. Soon, they all collapse unconscious. Fortunately, the berries weren't deadly. Later, their drifting raft is discovered by Richard's father. Seeing them unconscious, he orders his men to check. They confirm that all three are alive, and the family is finally rescued. And that's how the story of the movie ends. So friends, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay with us for more.